What is up, everybody? Hope y'all have a happy new year, 2018. This is your boy, Shawboys2324, aka Henry Scarborough Jr., and we are about to do a DVD review. This is a DVD review on the top 25 rivalries in wrestling history. Let's take a look. The back you see Hogan and Andre do this set at WrestleMania. You got WWE presents the top 25 rivalries in wrestling history. The Rebel versus Boss, Brother versus Brother, Irresistible Force meets the Immovable Object, Stone Cold and Vince. In sports entertainment, rivalry takes on innumerable forms, but only 25 can be considered the greatest in history. For the first time ever, WWE presents the top 25 rivalries in wrestling history, from grudges spawn out of championship pursuits to personal vendettas that transcended the boundaries of the ring. All the timeless conflicts are presented here. Each rivalry is narrated by a different sports entertainment personality, featuring showdowns from WWE, NWA, WCW, ECW, AWA, and WCCW. All right, let's get into it. Right here. All right, let's open it up. You got Brother versus Brother, Kane on the left, Undertaker on the right. Right, open it up. You got Champion versus Champion, CM Punk and John Cena. And then right here. All right, let's get open to this one. Chemistry. Basically talk about like how these five on the list had like great chemistry with each other in the ring, but they hated each other, and they had this competitive drive to actually like do the best that they can. They have like 25 Triple H versus Mick Foley, Taz versus Sabu, Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero, Bruiser Brody versus Abdullah the Butcher, and Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper. Like this was basically like a countdown of the top 25, and like excuse me, like Triple H versus Mick Foley, like they had some like great matches. Like one is like Dude Love, who is also Mick Foley, and Cactus Jack and Mankind, brutal rivalries. Taz, Sabu, this was also brutal. Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero were friends in the ring, in and outside the ring, and their rivalry was good. Bruce Brody and Abdul the Butcher. This was a bloody rivalry. All their matches basically had like blood was involved. Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper. This was a great rivalry. I thought it would be higher on the list, but then you got CM Radioactive. Basically, things just being boiled over, and stuff like that. So you got like a 20 CM Punk versus John Cena, 19 Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar, 18 Randy Orton versus Triple H, which was a great feud. The problem with this one is that when they had their match at WrestleMania 25, the crowd was in dead silent because the match before that, they came after the match before, it was Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. Then you got Vergania versus Nick Bockwinkel. This was a good rivalry. This is probably like really the only rivalries I ever heard of. Like this, I think this is one of them from the AWA. You got Mankind and Undertaker. This was a great rivalry. Like they started in 1996 in King of the Ring, and then Undertaker lost to Mankind it was like two straight pay-per-views, and then like at King of the Ring at SummerSlam, and then he beat him at I think it was Buried Alive, and then they renewed their rivalry again in 1998 in the Hell in a Cell match at King of the Ring 98. Underground Laboratory got at number 15, Tommy Dreamer versus Raven, Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, Triple H versus The Rock, John Cena versus Edge, Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man Randy Savage. This from 15 through 11. This actually was really like good. Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker. This was probably like one of the best feuds in WWE in terms of like competitiveness. And then Triple H versus The Rock. This was also very, very competitive too. Like they were both hitting their strides at a all-time level. John Cena versus Edge. They never had a bad match against each other. Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man Randy Savage. Everybody knows about this rivalry. Basically, it revolved around Miss Elizabeth and Tommy Dreamer versus Raven. They had like a whole like year. Their rivalry just lasted for years and years, upon years. Combustible. Basically, this was like all from like 10 through 6. Basically, all of it was at some point it came to an explosion. So like Tully Blanchard versus Magnum TA. This was a really good rivalry from NWA back in the day. Undertaker versus Kane. When they first started out, this was also a good rivalry. Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys versus Dudley Boys. Basically, they were the ones that had the triangular ladder match, and all three of these teams had elevated each other. So, and then you got Dusty Rhodes versus Ric Flair, a very classic rivalry. So, very classic. The Von Erichs versus the Freebirds. This was also very classic in WCCW, and conventional elements. Basically, these were like the real like all the elements put together in this, and like it was like the chemistry and like the competitiveness of this, like Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock, two of the top baby faces in the Attitude Era at the time, and they had like not 3 straight WrestleMania matches, but like it was 15, 17, and 19. So it's like they wrestled basically every other year, and like that rivalry was good. Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. And basically this was the fact of the immovable force means an inanimate object. And like this was, it wasn't a bad rivalry. It's just like, based off of WrestleMania 3, this was a really, really good rivalry that drew 93,000 people. You ain't got Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. This was a really, really good rivalry. Very competitive, this rivalry. Like they had all these like people had like both of them had like great matches with each other. And then Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, the Hitman Hart. They had not a bloody rivalry, but it was a good rivalry too. And then like obviously the nucleus, basically you have the negative, the electrons was Vince McMahon, and the protons was Stone Cold Steve Austin, but the whole the WWE universe was its nucleus, and this was probably one of the best rivalries in wrestling history up to this point. And it's a great rivalry. This list, I have no problem with some of the lists. It's just that like maybe some of them, like I would maybe switch them up. Probably put Edge and Christian versus the Hardy versus Dudley Boys at number 10 instead of number 8, but that's very like nitpicky. Overall, this one was really, really good. And let's get to the matches from this 2. Alright. We got this 2 right here. You got Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper, WWE Championship match, war to settle the score, February 10th, 1985. This was just a match. Wasn't that bad. I don't think this wasn't. I know this match did not end clean. That's all I'm gonna say. I quit steel cage match for the NWA United States Championship. Tully Blanchard versus Magnum TA. Starrcade, November 28, 1985. This was a really bloody match, but this was great. Probably one of the best matches on this DVD entirely. It was good entertainment match. Bruiser Brody versus Abdullah the Butcher, World Class Championship Wrestling, July 1987. Their steel cage match was way better than this one. That's all I'm gonna say. Bad Street Rules match. Kevin and Kerry Von Erich versus Terry Gordy and Buddy Roberts, World Class Championship Wrestling, February 1988. This was a good match. It's probably not the best. Probably not the best match that they again, like some of these matches that they put on this DVD aren't like the best ones from their rivalry. And then you get like Hulk. Okay, then like the next match, Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage versus Million Dollar Man Teddy DiBiase and Andre the Giant, SummerSlam, August 29, 1988. Why is this match on here? Like, why didn't put Hogan versus Macho Man Randy Savage, or Hogan at WrestleMania 5, or Hogan versus Andre at WrestleMania 3? Why you didn't put it's probably like the worst match, one of the worst matches. And that's not saying that every match was just bad. It's just this is probably like the worst. Like, why would you put this match on this DVD? To be honest, if both categories at the end, this one had Hogan and Andre and Hogan versus Macho Man Randy Savage. Why is this match on this DVD? Undertaker versus Mankind, King of the Ring, June 23rd, 1996. You know what? This is actually this is not a bad match. This is their first match of their rivalry, so I'm not gonna complain too much. This is probably the second best match, but on this disc. But what I will say is that, like, I don't mind that this match is on this DVD. It's just the fact that this is not their best match on this DVD on that they had in their rivalry. All right, let's get to disc. Let's get to disc 3, probably my favorite. Grudge match. Taz versus Sabu, Barry Legal, April 13, 1997. This was a really, really good match. Probably their best match, and like Taz, the finish was weird. So Taz choked out Sabu to win the match, and then basically Bill Alfonso, his manager, turned on Taz and sided with Sabu. Think about that for a second. That makes no sense. Anyway, overall, this is a really, really good match, but I feel like that turn just took away a match just a little bit. The final battle, Tommy Dreamer versus Raven, WrestlePalooza, June 1997. This was a good match. A lot of interference, but a really, really good match. I can't complain about it. And afterwards, Jerry Lawler invaded ECW, and the rest is history. And winner take all handicap ladder match, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Mr. McMahon versus Shane McMahon, King of the Ring, June 27, 1999. This was not the match that I would have put on this DVD. I would put Stone Cold and Mr. McMahon from Valentine's Day Massacre on this DVD, on this in this disc, than this match. But this match wasn't bad. It's just I would rather just have that match. And then WWE Championship match, Triple H versus The Rock, Backlash, April 30th, 2000. Other than an Iron Man match, this was probably one of their best matches. So I'm at that. They actually got that one right. They got this one right. This can't take away from Triple H versus The Rock. This was a really, really good match. I like this match, and yeah. WWE Championship match, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock, Rebellion, November 3rd, 2001. I don't mind that this match is on this DVD because it's not on many DVDs to begin with. Not on like The Rock's DVD or any of Stone Cold's DVD. You'll get a review of that coming soon. But I don't mind this match at all. Like, and this was like one of like the only matches I've seen most of these matches on the DVD, but this is probably the one that I haven't seen and I wanted to see. And you know, it was actually a good match. You know, it was during the invasion angle, so that's the only reason I don't like about this match. But it was actually not a bad match, and obviously the right guy won. And also this was after when Rock lost the WCW championship. He got it back on Raw but this is after when he lost it. So yeah, this is not a bad match. Heel Austin and Ray and face Rock. This is not the best match on in their rivalry, but I'm actually glad that I actually did saw this match. And WWE Championship match: Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam, August 24th, 2003. Again, I haven't seen this match. This is a really, really good match. Angle and Brock Lesnar always had great matches. I like their WrestleMania match better, but this is like, if you put it on rivalry match, this is actually a good match too. And then you got steel cage match for WWE Championship: John Cena versus Edge, Raw, October 2nd, 2006. This was not their best match. I think their TLC match was way better than this match. But I've seen this match a lot, and it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good of a match. It wasn't. I think that was probably like Edge and Cena's worst match, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It's just, I think if they put their TLC match, that TLC match was way better than this one. That's all I'm gonna say. But overall, I like this DVD. I am glad that I picked this up, and yeah. Hope you guys enjoy the video. That's it from me. Catch you guys next time. And don't forget to comment down below. Subscribe for more videos from me. And I will see you guys in the next video. Happy New Year, guys. More stuff to come in 2018. Peace.